Hello, my name is Shitiz Srivastava and this is my podcast. So welcome to my podcast, and today I want to talk about the power of repetition. A lot of times people don't get what they really want to do is because they keep on changing the things that they are doing continuously. If there's one thing that I've learned over the years and by constantly doing something, it is that whether you are interested or you're not interested, you have to keep on doing something that you have picked up. Like if you read this book by Robert Greene called Mastery, you'll understand that you have to complete 10,000 hours to become master at something, and for that you have to keep on doing something without the passion. Even if there is no passion, sometimes we start things with the passion, with the idea that we really want to do something, but then over the time we lose the interest, and that's where we start quitting. And the most important thing about quitting is that we quit when we should have kept going. And this is not something that is just told by me. It is something that is evident in the science, and there's a science called neuro-linguistic programming which says that you have to condition your mind again and again to particular things so that you become better at it. Suppose you're doing riyaz, like I make riyaz videos, and I was doing riyaz for quite some time and I just couldn't do it. It was a tedious effort, and at times it felt like that it is not going to help me, and it is not useful at all. But then you have to break the habit and you have to push yourself into doing something, and that also goes for, and one of the prime examples is doing the gym. So when you are thinking of doing the gym, most of the people quit after the process becomes painful, and the gymming process does not just ends at the gym. It actually starts, you actually start feeling the pain when you actually come back to home, and that's when most of the people quit. And that's how I have also quit gym so many times, that I couldn't make my own body. But the people who I've seen has got good body actually kept on doing it again and again till they become very good at it, till it becomes a habit for them. So there is 3 stages in which you are going to achieve something, and the first stage is going to be the most exciting one. It is a stage where you start doing things. It is the stage where you actually start doing things, and it is the stage where you begin the process of what actually excites you, and you start doing it. But in the second process, which is the humongous process, which takes most of your time, will be the process when you won't have any motivation, when you won't have any passion, when you won't have any enthusiasm to keep on continuing what you are doing. But if at that testing time, if you just keep on doing what you're doing, despite the fact that you're interested in doing it, it does not matter whether you're doing it right or whether you're doing it wrong. What matters is that you keep on doing the same thing again and again, and that is what makes all the difference. So I think repetition is not something that is that you can ignore, and it is something that that even the sages from ancient times have also told us. They keep on rechanting the same mantras again and again. They keep on doing the same thing again and again. They keep concentrating, focusing on the same thing again and again, and that's how they got the result. So the idea behind repetition is that you keep doing something again and again, and that's how you achieve it. I don't want to go into the process and science of it, but I can tell you that I met one IPS officer who told me that if you want to inculcate inside you some habit, then you have to keep on doing it again and again, and it is called classical conditioning. This is how security guards are trained, because the basic human nature for any human being would be to run away from the danger, but it is told to security guard that you have to run towards the danger, which is against basic human instincts. And you can achieve that by constantly doing something again and again, and that is called classical conditioning. So basically what happens is that when you keep on doing something again and again, you repeat the process again and again, your mind rewires itself to do it, and it does not create obstruction for you. So basically any hard work that we do, our mind is somehow programmed to avoid us from going into any trouble. Our mind is programmed to save us from any hard work. Our mind also creates reasons for not doing something, and that is what stops most people from doing anything. But if you keep on doing it despite your interest into it, if you surround yourself with the same things, and if you keep on doing it, then you are going to get very successful. And this is something that I have learned in my life. And I have a fickle mind, I have a lack of focus, and I have these problems right from the time I was in school. I just couldn't concentrate on something for a very long time, and this time I have decided that I am going to focus on one thing for a longer period of time. Suppose I am making these podcasts, and initially when I was making these podcasts, it was easy for me to make podcasts, and my mind would say that it won't help you. So my basic intention behind making these podcasts was that I wanted to improve my English, and it was a troublesome thing for me, because sometimes I just don't feel like talking in English. I want to talk in my native language, which is Hindi, and I'm very much comfortable talking in that. But I know how important it is in today's world to talk in English. So I keep on doing it. I keep on making these kind of podcasts, and I have this goal. So you might be seeing me looking downwards at times, and basically what I'm seeing is the time zone, the time limit. So I have set this time limit for me that I will talk for 10 minutes, no matter what I'm talking, no matter how good I'm talking, because right now I'm not promoting my podcast, so it doesn't matter what I'm talking, because no one is listening to it. But the thing is that is inside my mind is that I have to keep on doing it, despite me not liking it, despite me not doing it good. And anything that you will start doing right from the scratch, you will never be able to do it good. You have to develop. You will become better at it over the course of time, and for that you have to sometimes push yourself. And that is one case with me, and that is also going to be the case with you, right? Like anything that you're going to start, that like any art that you're going to start, anything like any entrepreneurship that you're going to do, any startup that you're going to do, any business that you're going to do, any app development that you're going to do, any coding work that you're going to do, you have to just keep on doing it. And sometimes, of course, you will argue with me that there are people in this world who keep on doing the same thing again and again, but they don't get very successful. Yes, they don't get very successful because they are not working inside out. They are working for someone else, and someone else is benefiting from this. So the people who are working in private jobs and working in government, they are putting their efforts inside out. They are giving their efforts to someone else. So what I am doing when I am working for myself, I am putting my efforts outside in. When I'm doing something, I'm trying to improve my personality over the time. And this is what helps me in gaining the talent, the art of doing something. I don't know whether in the long term it is going to help me, because I do not have live example of that. I have only read it in books. And somewhere I have to keep this faith that if I keep doing this for a longer period of time, I think I'm going to make some changes to my thinking, and I will rewire my brain accordingly. And it doesn't take that much time. It's just 10 minutes a day. So for 10 minutes a day, I just have to talk in English. I have to make my podcast for just 10 minutes a day. If I keep repeating this process for next 100 days, suppose I make 100 podcasts, and suppose I make 2 podcasts a day, and I can finish this in 50 days. Or I can make 4 podcasts a day and I can finish it in 25 days. In any of the cases, I can keep on doing the same thing again and again, and it will only help me rewiring my brain. And I have this goal where I will just keep on doing something till it becomes a second nature for me, till it becomes very convenient for me to do something which I really want to do. And this is my advice to you as well. This is something that I have learned over a period of time, and this is something where you can also save your time. If you just keep on repeating the same thing that you want to do and keep getting better at it. And this is how you keep getting better at something, because you keep doing it again and again. Developing a habit is not a very easy thing, but you have to keep it, but you have to develop it. And it's not a very interesting journey. And the thing with the process is that the process are always very boring for other people. Like right now, the podcast that I'm making, maybe no one is going to see them, no one is going to witness them, but still I have to make them. I have to go through the process. I don't know whether everyone else is going to appreciate it or not, if someone is watching it is going to appreciate it or not, but they are definitely going to appreciate it if there are 100 podcasts on my YouTube channel, and they're going to think that this guy is making some effort. So when you start something, basically you don't have to show it to the world, you don't have to start telling the world about it, because the world is never going to understand what you are planning to do. And even if you tell them, you will lose the enthusiasm to do it. And that is one problem with talking to people. When you talk to people, you feel that you have achieved that goal to an extent, and that is something that is very detrimental for you. And now I've seen that I have covered 10 minutes, so I'm going to stop this podcast right now, and I will meet you in next podcast. I have covered 10 minutes, and I'm going to make 10-minute podcast for next 100 videos, which is going to be around 1000 minutes, and it's going to be huge. And if I practice talking in English for 1000 hours, ain't I going to get better? I thought so too. So initially when I was making my podcast, I was very comfortable in talking in English, but right now, since I do not have the enough knowledge about talking about these things, the data that I have, the books that I have read, I keep on forgetting them, and I have to keep myself in the loop to understand them, and that's how anyone gets better. So let's meet in the next podcast very soon. Bye bye.